as I just mentioned, that when we try to understand the emergence of sociology, French Revolution and Industrial Revolution have been the most critical factors. Of course, I will be discussing little more in detail about these two revolutions in coming few minutes. For the time being, let us try to understand that French Revolution, which occurred around 1789, it brought drastic changes in the French society by overthrowing the feudal order, monarchy, and also the church dominance. There was rise of ideas like equality, fraternity, and liberty, and strong sense of nationalism and democracy also was established as a result of French Revolution. So we will see that there was a kind of a shift from divine authority to people's sovereignty, and this created a need to understand social order and change scientifically. Now, when this French Revolution was taking place in and around, or probably just couple of years before the Industrial Revolution, I'm sorry, just couple of years before the French Revolution, we will see Industrial Revolution also was shaping the human society, and it was a kind of a drastic shift in the entire existence of human living. So Industrial Revolution basically led to the drastic transformation from agrarian to industrial economy, and when this kind of a shift happened, we see that there is emergence of industries, emergence of labor class, emergence of cities, which is covered under the process of urbanization. There was migration taking place, there was division of classes, and that is how Karl Marx talks about bourgeoisie and proletariat. And simultaneously there were also social issues which were developing. So Industrial Revolution, which took place in England, and French Revolution, which took place in France. So basically the entire focus of the change was in Europe. And in this background, along with this, in a way, the contextual background, I would say, was enlightenment. So as the word enlightenment tells us, it is development of reason, development of rationality, and a kind of a scientific thinking, a kind of a logical thinking. Even that was developing in society, and people were rejecting superstitions, blind faiths, all kinds of like very conventional superstitious traditions were also being rejected. There was more and more belief in the potential of the human thought, potential of human work, and also focus on understanding human nature, understanding human society from a scientific perspective. So all these factors which were part of our enlightenment, our part of intellectual awakening, even that was bringing lot of change in human society. Apart from this, there were multiple intellectual forces which were also operating, which has inspired the origin and emergence of sociology. So what were those factors? I hope you all know about Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin brought about the entire concept of biological evolution, and inspired by Charles Darwin work, we will also see how Herbert Spencer brings this concept in sociology in the terms of organic enology, which is a very interesting theory in sociology by Herbert Spencer. We also see that philosophy of history and also understanding of social evolution was also taking place. Empirical surveys were taking place to understand and focus on what kind of social realities are taking place, what kind of social challenges are there, and also the impact of multiple scientific developments which were happening in Europe and the other parts of the world, which was basically impacting human thought and human rationality. And new tools of data collection to understand societal realities, to understand societal problems, new kinds and tools of data collection was also emerging, which contributed tremendously in understanding of society. Then, when we try to understand that when sociology as a discipline started emerging, what actually happened? So, with the emergence of sociology, there was more and more focus on sociological inquiry. We were trying to understand why there is poverty. We were trying to understand what were the challenges of the migrants. We were trying to understand that why gender inequality persisted. And we will see this kind of a sociological inquiry was happening across multiple disciplines of social living and societal understanding. And that is why we will see that sociology got diversified. It got diversified into specialized branches, and those branches today we read with lot of interest and with lot of fascination, with the ultimate goal of understanding social realities and giving solutions to social problems. So sociology started diversifying into political sociology, rural and urban sociology, industrial sociology, and then also we will see demography, family, communication, and all these disciplines. There are in fact multiple such diversifications, and all these diversifications have only contributed in strengthening sociology as a discipline. Now, as I mentioned couple of minutes back, industrial revolution was one of the most prominent factors in the emergence of sociology. So let us discuss little more in detail about industrial revolution, which is also called as great transformation, and it was indeed a turning point in the entire history of mankind, because it brought massive transformations into human society. The biggest transformation was shift from agricultural economy to industrial economy. My dear friends, this shift is not as simple as we are discussing it in the class, because this shift basically led to multiple consequences, and it introduced machines, factory system, new production systems, and a new kind of industrial society was also taking birth. There were a lot of social changes which was taking place because of industrialization. Migration from rural areas to urban areas was also happening. Peasants were transforming themselves into industrial workers and labor class. The traditional occupation and lifestyle system also underwent lot of changes, and there were emergence of new classes. Social relationships were undergoing changes, and that is where we need to talk about Ferdinand Tönnies, Gemeinschaft, Gesellschaft, and Emile Durkheim's organic and mechanical solidarity. More of impersonal relations were developing. There was weakening of collective social life, and also lot of materialistic advancement also was taking place. So friends, we will see that industrial revolution, though was a technical revolution, a mechanical revolution, it had tremendous impact on human society, human thinking, human relationships, and how people started broadly analyzing the society, broadly thinking about the future of the society.